In corporate headlines, UPS is at the point of its relationship with Amazon where it's ready for that awkward conversation that ends with the phrase, I think we should see other people. UPS announced that it will slash Amazon package deliveries by 50% by the latter half of 2026. The turn in the relationship between UPS, the world's biggest package shipper, and Amazon, the world's largest e-commerce company, comes as UPS feels the heat from the sheer number of packages it ships for Amazon. Because of a large volume pricing structure put in place, UPS doesn't make as much money on each Amazon package shipped compared to what it makes on other deliveries. UPS CEO Carol Tomei put it bluntly on a call with investors, quote, Amazon is our largest customer, but it is not our most profitable customer. You may not know this when you sit down to make a purchase on Amazon or any other website for that matter, but for UPS, there's a high cost to free or low cost shipping offered to you. In 2024, the company took in $92 billion in shipping fees. Even with the Amazon changes, UPS predicts that number will drop in 2025.
I know many of you saw that the stock market went down by 14% on Thursday of last week, and I know you're wondering what's happening, so we're going to be taking a look at it. We're going to be covering it in this one. No, we're also going to be taking a look at a new company that UPS purchased in January. As a matter of fact, they announced it January 8th of 2025. Now, keep in mind, we will be taking a look at Amazon and UPS, and with this new contract, how we will be cutting and what duration of time we will be cutting this work. Again, guys, this one is filled with information, so please buckle up because this one is going to be a good one. See you on the other side.
Great to have you on. Thanks for being with us today.
Good to see you, Morgan.
How much of the Amazon business piece of this is factoring into your guidance for 2025?
Let me just talk a little bit about our Amazon relationship. We've been together for nearly 30 years. They are our largest customer, but they're not our most profitable customer. And the contract with Amazon came up for renewal in 2025, so we stepped back to take a look at where did we want to take this business going forward. Because if we didn't take action, it would have diminishing returns. So we looked at a number of different alternatives and decided that the best thing to do would to accelerate a glide down of their volume, taking it down by more than 50% by June of 2026. What that means in terms of the guidance is simply this. In the United States, our volume will decline in 2025 by 8.5%. Our revenues will decline by about 2%, but our profit will increase by 14.5%.
On Thursday, the stock did fall 14%. For those of you who have been buying UPS stock or investing in UPS, you will see this dramatic fall of the stock. Now, keep in mind that FedEx also cut their contract with Amazon back in 2019. And the same exact thing happened where their stock also fell, and it's no different, you know. So we're basically doing the same thing that FedEx did back in 2019, and the stock market reacted negatively to it. So again, guys, that is expected, and yes, that's the reason for this big cut that you are seeing on Thursday.
I've been surprised to see the reaction in the stock today. I mean, UPS is having its worst day on record. I mean, we have in some ways seen this playbook play out before, just a couple of years ago when FedEx disentangled itself from its own Amazon contracts.
So we had a big announcement today, and there was a lot for the market to digest. I think as the days and weeks come and analysts and investors digest our news, they will understand that we are taking control of our destiny. We are going to grow in the parts of the market that value our end-to-end network and value the capabilities that we have been investing in that differentiate us from the rest of the market. We are not a shrinking company, we are a growing company, but we need to take control of the Amazon volume. As we think about how we're going to grow going forward, well, the US small package market is growing in the low single digit area in 2020-25, and we're going to take share. How are we going to take share? By leveraging the capabilities that we've been investing in. And I'll give you one example. We've seen great growth in our small and medium-sized customer segment. That segment reached now about 29% of our total business in the United States in 2024, and we're going to grow that to 32% in 2025, and then on our way to 35% by 2026. It doesn't stop with SMBs, however. We're growing into cold chain logistics. We just completed the acquisition of another cold chain logistics, healthcare logistics company in Germany known as Frigo-Trans. So our healthcare business was pretty growthy last year, and it will continue to grow in 2025. The healthcare business in 2024 grew 5%. In 2025, it's going to grow nearly 8%. And we're on our way to take that business to a $20 billion business by 2026.
You know, this is a good thing, guys, because through acquisition, the company is able to grow. So we're not just only depending on basically packages or B2B or business to business transaction or residential transaction. We're actually going out and acquiring, which is a good thing, because I remember saying that why isn't it that UPS buy businesses are productive businesses that are growing, businesses that have already grown. So apart from growing organically, we could also grow through acquisition. So this is a good idea, guys. And what I find with this company that she's talking about, which is Frigo-Trans, which provide leading complex healthcare logistics solutions across Europe. That's great news. So for investors and for people like you and I who works at UPS, this is great news. Well, here you could definitely see where she's making plans for the future. She's cooking. So guys, let her go ahead and cook. Go ahead, Carol, cook.
Now, you've also said you're going to be reconfiguring the network. You plan to extract $1 billion in cost savings. How does that happen?
So there are different cost out activities associated with the announcements that we made today. We have a lot of assets and resources that support the Amazon volume. And as the Amazon volume comes down, we will be freeing up resources and assets. We'll close about 10% of our buildings throughout the United States as an example of how we're freeing up assets and resources. And clearly our staffing, well, it flexes with the volume that's inside of our network. On the Efficiency Reimagined announcement that we had today, this is about just improving many of our processes to take out costs. We've got some pretty archaic processes in our company still today. For example, we still take checks. So we've identified over $1 billion of cost savings just by running a better business going forward.
No, in this one, she's talking about cutting back a bit. She's explaining to you how she will be able to free up some of this money, which is about over $1 billion, in reducing some of these buildings. And I did read an article where it was saying that UPS will be closing 200 buildings. Now, the question is that your building? I have no idea. Is that my building? I definitely have no idea. But a lot of these distribution centers will be closing, and that will also free up some money. Now, I'm assuming that workers will be cut, but I don't know what's her plans when it comes to that. And as she did say, workers will be fluctuating based on volume. So if they need us, they'll have us. If they don't need us, then no. From a business point of view, I could tell you that she wants to run a slimmer company, which is more effective than to run a fat company, which is bringing in very little to no profit. So this I understand, and I'm sure the shareholders will be happy with that.
You've brought SurePost in-house, which is a postal service related service as well. So what does that mean for the e-commerce business, the business to consumer business at UPS specifically?
So on SurePost, this is an important product that we offer to our customers, and it's economy product. It made up a little under 20% of our total volume in the fourth quarter. We had used the Postal Service as part of the last mile delivery solution for this product. The Postal Service is changing its operating model and raising its costs. And when we looked at that value proposition, we were nervous about that because, well, they were changing their operating model, which could put service at risk. So we took a look at that and said, hey, we can insource what the Postal Service had been doing for us and make sure that we have excellent customer service for our customers. By the way, we already delivered 50% of the SurePost product, so we're only insourcing the remaining 50%. It's a better value proposition for our customers, and it's a better value proposition for our share owners. In terms of the overall e-commerce market, we are really focused on the customer segments that value our end-to-end integrated network. That's cold chain, healthcare, logistics, it's small and medium-sized business customers, it's B2B customers, it's differentiating our capabilities to gain stickiness with our customers. In fact, our churn, in other words, the number of customers that left us last year, was the lowest it's been in many, many years. So we're just laser focused on segments and capabilities and not chasing all the packages that are coming into the small package market.
What are you seeing in terms of international business, especially given so much focus right now on trade and the possibility of tariffs?
Yeah, so we had a terrific fourth quarter in our international business where our domestic and our export average daily volume returned to growth. We also saw strong revenue quality and strong earnings, printing $1 billion of profit out of our international business and a margin of 21.6%. So it was just a great way to exit. And as we look to 2025, the market is projected to grow in the mid-single digits, and we're expecting to take share as the market grows. Now, as it relates to tariffs and trade, trade follows policy, and tariffs generally are not good for trade. But here's the thing about UPS I think is important to note. In terms of our risk, if you will, last year we delivered 22.4 million packages a day. Of that, less than 400,000 packages were imported into the United States from countries like Canada, China, Europe, Mexico. So our risk exposure for our small package business is pretty small. As it relates to shippers broadly, they have lots of choices if tariffs are placed against them. They can do nothing and absorb the cost. They can pass the cost along, or they can look at other alternatives. Those alternatives might be a change in mode. In other words, moving from high premium air to perhaps ocean freight, or they can look at changing destination, not delivering to countries that are charging the tariff. So they can look at changing origin, moving to manufacturing sites to other countries. And we got ahead of that, Morgan, a couple of years ago when we saw a China plus one strategy happening with many manufacturers who weren't leaving China, but they were moving manufacturing to other countries like Vietnam. So we expanded our capabilities in countries like Vietnam, and we're seeing 20-30% growth in those trade lanes. So the beauty of having a global integrated transportation network is that we can handle our shippers, whatever they decide to do if tariffs come their way.
Do you expect that dynamic to continue? And if so, what does it mean in terms of how you're planning out future investments in your own network globally?
So it's hard to tell. There's a lot of noise right now with tariffs, but we do know a few things. We do know that the largest trade lanes are in Asia. So we've announced an expansion of our airports in Hong Kong, and we're building a brand new gateway in the Philippines. So we'll be able to take advantage of those growing trade lanes.
And then finally, labor. You had the high-profile contract that was struck, I guess, about a year and a half ago. Now, what does that mean in terms of how it's factoring into your costs as you do focus on things like growing margins?
So the beauty of the labor contract that we negotiated last year is that we have certainty regarding our costs. It was a front-loaded contract but that first year of the contract is behind us. The average annual cost of the contract is 3.3%. And we saw that in the fourth quarter where our labor costs just rose 3%. And that then gives us certainty as we plan for the future. Then hours and the staffing that we use inside of our business will fluctuate versus the volume in our network. But in terms of the underlying costs, we have clarity as to what that is, and that's factored into our guidance.
Okay, so here she's saying the hours and the staffing will fluctuate. So that means overtime is not a certainty, and yes, staffing will be affected. No, guys, as she said, the contract was front loaded. So a larger part of the payout was on the front end of the contract. As the years goes by, it will taper off. It will get smaller and smaller. No, again, that was a good update. That was a great update. I hope you got information from this video. If you did, always go ahead, hit that thumbs up. Always feel free to share. Always free to like, and definitely subscribe. Again, guys, this was just a short and a quick one. Now again, guys, this was just a short and a quick one for you guys, just to update you on what's going on, just in case you saw your stock portfolio falling on Thursday and you're wondering what's happening. This is a result of that. So again, guys, with the tariff, with the backing off Amazon, cutting that to 50%, with the picking up of the SurePost, because remember, we were allowing the post office to take a lot of these SurePost packages. Now we're taking that back, and we're also closing 200 buildings over the next 5 years. So guys, it's a lot happening, and I will definitely keep on top of that. I will definitely give you the information as soon as I get it. And keep in mind, I always do my research before I make a recording. And once again, guys, we've come to the end of another great video. Now, if you found value in this one, please go ahead, subscribe, like, or share. Or better yet, if you know someone that might find value in this one, please go ahead and share. Now, as usual, you won't get all your information from this one video, so please go ahead and click on this one right here. And now you will have access to the financial market, the financial news, making your first investment, and definitely my journey towards financial freedom. As usual, guys, be safe, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.